Well, welcome everyone. This is the Tesla Beat podcast number 90. It's crazy. We hit the big 90. We got another 10 before 100, so we should be getting there in the next couple of months. Hans could not be here this week, but we have one of our very good friends, actually all the way visiting from Germany. How's it going? Oh, I think you're muted. You're muted.
Wow. And just like that,
now. Okay, sorry, I didn't unmute the mic. Okay, now I'm back. Great. Okay. Yeah. It's TeslaFix, Jan from TeslaFix here, and I'm grateful to be here again and talk about stuffs, whatever it is.
Exactly. Never a dull moment. Well, thank you for coming on this week. Appreciate all of your stuff. One thing I just wanted to do before we jump in is, again, what I love, Jan, about just your expertise is, you live in Europe. What has been the sentiment that you've seen? I mean, you've even bought a Tesla in the past year. Congrats on I believe it was a Model 3. But what is the sentiment happen, or how is the sentiment in Europe, at least where you are? I mean, maybe you can't speak for all of Europe, but how is it in Germany right
now? The same, I think, that makes headlines in the US as well. People are furious about Teslas in general, more or less. I mean, it's a little bit overblown. I think I would say it's mixed. It's pretty mixed. It's blown out of proportion in the media again a little bit because it makes headlines, of course. But I would say the severity of protests let's say it raised a bit. But when you look at the past of how Tesla was targeted before that, we always had kind of burning Teslas and stuff like this because left extremist groups kind of just burned them, or the ones who camped out in the forest, or also out of that spectrum came maybe the attacks on the electricity grid thing that was burned down or burnt. Stuff like this was targeted at Tesla, and today I would say the general public, I would say, is a little bit less on the side of Tesla in that sense. But when I talk to friends or even people I recommended the Tesla to, and they tested it and used it, they're like, oh my God, this is so insane, I'm never going back. So the product itself speaks for itself. And I also think the Model Y that's coming out, that's also produced in Giga Berlin, will be a huge bump for Tesla again. They're going to kind of sell more, I think. Maybe they can even surpass their own record of the Model Y being the best-selling vehicle, and maybe it's the best-selling vehicle in 2025 again, but we have to see if the public sentiment is so bad that they won't buy Teslas anymore. I'm not sure about that, but we will see.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Model Ys are so common. It's really hard to it's just really hard to hate on something that's absolutely everywhere. What I pointed out the other day is it'd be like playing Slug Bug in Mexico in the 80s. It's just ridiculous. You don't do it. There's too many of them. So, a Cybertruck is a very...
You can't burn all of them.
You can't burn all of them.
You can't burn all of them.
But they're happy to try.
Yeah, well, I was talking to... we were having a casual conversation, and before you joined... but specifically just how, you'll find out how much the legacy media lies about something when you are, when you study it, when you are an expert in it. And what we were saying, whoever these protesters are, from whatever background they are, it's interesting how at least it seems to be something that, a lot of them potentially don't know why they're there. They're uneducated about the actual product in itself. Some of them don't even know why they're there. And who knows, maybe there's a small group or whatever that is making, paying them to be there. But again, the interesting thing is that, like, I had 3 news agencies hit me up in the past week just asking me, hey, how do you feel as a Tesla owner driving the car with Elon? And it's like you have this cycle, right? It's like there's all these people just standing outside the stores, and then the media comes in and amplifies that, whether, and of course it's just more of like they perpetuate it onto owners by being like, how do you feel now? Look at all this stuff. And it in some ways, again, this is just my opinion, it creates this unneeded fear. And then you start thinking the majority of people think that way. The good thing is where I personally have faith, at least in the US specifically, because of what we've seen in the past election. Long story short, people don't believe the media like they used to. And so I think people who watch the podcast, watch, various sources now, they can see through a lot of that. But again, there's still going to be that subset of people that will just, listen to the thing the cycle that continues to happen. Again, just my opinion. All right. So that was a little bit of a rabbit hole, but Tesla stock down 36%, down from to 243 this week from 258. So I think we've seen a softness, but the overall market has just, even in this past week, it's been soft. Now, as we know, Tesla has always been a little bit more, or I would say a lot more volatile. So the overall market is down. Tesla is a little bit more than some, so it's just one of those things, just something to keep out on. Look at the macro, what else is happening with other companies as well. All right, Joe, I'm going to kick this one to you. You're muted.
Yeah, I know. I'm pulling a yawn. Don't worry about it. So, US EV registrations January 2025 are very embarrassing, you guys, for everyone not named Tesla. As you can see, you can't see my mouse, but you can see that big long line at the top. Yeah, that's Tesla sales in January. So thanks to Jeff Lutz, we have the math. The math is 11% year over year. They're down, which is about 4,775 cars. They came into January 2025 with 20% fewer days of inventory versus the prior January 2024, which is crazy comparison when you think about like 20% less of inventory, and they're still only down 4,000 vehicles. But that's about 6,300 fewer cars in U.S. inventory available to sell. So this is pretty incredible. And like you were saying, it really, you can see the sting of overall sales, not just on Tesla. Although, yeah, when Tesla is down a little bit versus everybody else being down, it just looks like a bloodbath. It's really bad. But Tesla, as we know, weathers most storms. And just like Jan was saying, I mean, people are probably not buying cars, but there's so many people that I've seen that it just kind of, you don't really know what the balance is going to be, but it's not going to be as bad as I think some people think.
Yes.
Sorry.
I nailed it. I am killing it, you guys.
I think everyone is muted today for some reason. My thoughts are, I think even the UK, right, it was growing 20% year over year as well. There were some stats that came out of there. But as I'm going to steal Brian's wording on this, you can't sell a car that is not on the market yet. Yeah. And all you can do is place orders. So I think that's the one thing, if if you're a Tesla enthusiast or investor, just take that into consideration, that, they shut down 4 factories to prepare the production line. We met with the engineers specifically in San Jose who were traveling all over the world to help make sure that the production line was going smoothly as they implemented it. I don't know if it was Berlin or Shanghai who had theirs online first. I think it was Shanghai probably. But just know that the numbers will be a little bit rough. But again, it's not because of what people are saying. It's not because of the sentiment per se. That will have an impact in some ways, but it's because you can't sell a car that's not yet on the market.
I'm speaking German. Especially since also for the Model Y, they also changed some stuff, right? With the casting and stuff like this. Isn't that right, Brian? Maybe you want to jump in here.
Yeah, this is Alex. Oh, darn it! Now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
The change is subtle. Why are we stepping back from the gigacasting? Well, because we want parts in common across every factory, across every Model Y built. And while the mega castings are tremendously helpful for both structural integrity and that, there's benefits in having the same part everywhere. When people were saying, "Oh, I bet you the new Model Y is going to have 48 volt." No way. They need parts in common with the 3. That will come in the future. And the Cybertruck has shown us that the supply chain is just not ready to make the switch on big, tricky changes like the entire voltage architecture. Yeah, and to John's point, when we were talking before the show, you can't sell a car that's not for sale. No, Brian, you don't understand. Model Y sales are falling off a cliff because of the sentiment. Look, if everybody loved him to bits today, and I mean everybody, sales still would have been down because you can't sell a car that's not for sale. And now that we're seeing it, Norway, I think it was, posted the numbers. And now that the first delivery's there, boom, right back into number 1. Guys, it's endless. I have not seen a serious prognosticator saying Tesla's done. I've only seen armchair idiots doing it. I mean, I can't even call them armchair experts. They're sitting in a chair and they're genuinely dumb people. But you gotta roll with it. And it is too soon to say how bad Q1 will be. It will be bad. Car wasn't for sale. Their number 1 seller, being made in 4 factories, not for sale. Now it is. Q2 could also be a bit soft as it ramps, but I don't think it will. And by Q3, we'll definitely know. But by Q3, we're going to see likely an additional model or 2. And we could start seeing the beginning of the ramp of Cybercab. Elon has reiterated that won't enter volume production until next year. But I don't need to see volume production. I just need to see enough out there rolling around to know that we're on target.
And I'll tell you guys this, because we went and had our Model Y, the Yesla, tinted this week, and they couldn't use any of the pre-cuts from the old Model Y to tint it. They were like, we had to use this as a template because none of it fit. I was like, dang, they really changed everything. It doesn't look like it, but yeah, they changed everything. So I thought that was a very interesting note.
I had a chance to drive. So I've driven Model 3s, of course, but the very first time I got to drive the new Model 3 was in Germany with Jan in his car on the Autobahn. It's a different car. And the Model Y refresh is more of the same. It is exactly what I expected. It is as different and good as the Highland was from the original Model 3. It's a great car. It's got, how do you make the best-selling car in the world sell better? Well, you could drop the price. They've done that. That helps. But you could also just make it a better car for the same money. And that's what they're doing now.
Exactly. All right, so probably nothing to see here. We all know that Elon is probably a Nazi. So obviously, you would have the Jewish or really Israeli and top officials buying Teslas if he was a Nazi, right? So as we can see, Sawyer put out this tweet. Israel has asked Tesla to submit a bid to provide EVs for the Jewish state's top officials. A senior Israeli government official said, "We aren't going to bow to woke trends. A car is a car, and a great car is a great car is a great car." So, I think again, it's really sad, in my opinion. How many times does someone need to tell people that he's not a Nazi? But it's great to see just Netanyahu. Again, it doesn't matter how you feel about Netanyahu or his work, but either way, they are supporting him. They're from Israel and showing a lot of support for Elon during these days where people are attacking. So it's great to see it. And obviously, as Joe titled it, probably nothing to see here, because
if you're really anti a thing, you're not really gonna plaster it everywhere and yell it at everybody and write it on everything. Like, if you're really anti that thing, like,
yeah. All right, Joe, next one to you.
So just to let you guys know, Musk has great appeal in Delaware. He launches an appeal for his $56 billion Tesla payday. Let's go. So I thought this is really cool. Jan, do things like this do you guys even care about things like this, like what's happening in Delaware? Does that affect?
Not Delaware, but the thing from before, I would say, is a huge topic for Germany, of course. But talking about Delaware, I'm going to get back to my point there. I think it's important to having the German perspective on this as well, on the whole Elon is a Nazi thing. So Delaware is not a big thing. I think this is really on the deep end. People here, some people know about this, especially people who are using X as their social media platform of choice. But in overall, it's interesting to see generally how, what's happening in Delaware with the companies moving now more and more. I mean, we saw it last year even. They really shot themselves in the foot there. It was a very bad move to do this and deny this when they have the shareholder vote on this. Like, the majority voted again for the comp package, and so how can you even deny that? It's crazy, and it was a pretty bad move for Delaware. I think the other judges should have stopped this a little bit, or kind of just I don't know how they could do it, but generally, I think it's something the Germans don't really pay much attention to, but the ones who are more in the field where they have their own business or have a small startup or something, they look at this. But it's not as important for us here. This one hasn't as much ripple effects as the other topic you've talked about before. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I thought maybe could we just get your quick thoughts on maybe this last one? Sorry, I feel like we probably should have not skipped over this. So sorry to go back, but I mean, is this something? I mean, would you even see this in German media? I mean, people just
Oh yeah, this especially because it's interesting to view this, because I think these kinds of discussions or things to see is a prime example for taking information out of context for some point. It depends on the viewpoint, and it also depends on the nuggets you pick out to paint a narrative, for example. And you can, if you watch the lengthy interviews of Elon Musk, for example, especially those from before 2020 or something like that, you see that there's a very inspiring person who is very vulnerable, who cares about humanity, and then you have these viewpoints. The Elon, the I don't know how you say, the technological techno guy Elon Musk, and the one who is for advancing civilization and stuff like this. And then you have political Elon. Then it paints a different picture, and suddenly people are, oh, he's alt-right or something like that, or he's dog whistling at the event and blah blah blah. And if you watch the whole thing, for my opinion, I would say it doesn't look like he did that. And I wanted to clarify, he still is on the spectrum. And when you look at public things where Elon is participating, especially he's very hyped up on a stage generally. That doesn't mean, it was very forceful, the salute, for example, and you could interpret this in that way. But if you have these different other nuggets that paints another picture, then it's like, no way. That's why people are so much in different realities, because in today's day and age, because I also work in marketing, just as a disclaimer that I know what I'm talking about here, is that the algorithms are set up like this, that they want to sell ads to you. And that's why the algorithms are made or designed this way, that you are pushed kind of into a bubble, more or less, that the algorithm can categorize you. So that also had an effect on people having living side by side, but everybody has a different kind of reality, more or less, depending on what stuff is pushed to them in the algorithms. That's an important point. So everybody's living in their kind of social media bubble, and this also means this distorts their own reality a little bit. That's something to consider here. So this narrative could be true and the other one too, and then suddenly people are just riled up and fighting all the time. This also gives interactions, and negative attention is also attention. So that's also a mechanism that's used by social media companies to sell ads generally. So, yeah. So I think it depends on the viewpoint you take in, and depending on which nuggets you pick out, it paints this or that picture. And overall, I think, it's a tough one. I mean, we are very sensitive here in Germany about this topic, because if I would be the PR manager of Elon Musk, if that is even possible, I would have told him just to, really apologize in that sense and say, hey, guys, that's not what I meant. This was not even a Roman salute or whatever. This was just, I didn't mean that. I'm not anti-Semitic in any way, because Germany is very sensitive in that. And we don't, like, every benefit of the doubt, every doubt should be off in that way. It's for us very important. So that's why people in Germany are very sensitive about this. That's just what I wanted to say here. But in general, I don't think that Elon is a Nazi, and I don't think that he has a secret agenda in that sense, like in some media outlets it's painted. And also in German media, I mean, this was very prevalent, because they're very anti-Trump and stuff like this. Everything mixed together, because of our politicians are more about that war game right now. So, yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is that Elon definitely, I think I don't know how because I'm not him, so I can't speak for him, but definitely it should have been one of those things within what, once they got wind that this was, taking flight, it should have just been straight out there. Tweet, that was not the case, but unfortunately, I think it was Joe Rogan when he finally said some stuff, but, I think he even, commented tweets or he posted in responses to things, just because maybe he didn't think that, any person with the same brain would think that. But yeah, it's just like, I think there is some of that mitigated risk that could be addressed, in my opinion, and handled a little bit better to just clean up some of this. But so it's
just to give, like, doubts no chance in that sense. I mean, for me, it's like, he can do whatever he wants, but I think pushing back on that topic is not sensitive enough in that sense, because for example, in Germany, everybody's pretty educated what the Nazis did, of course, and that's why we know that we have groups that like the salute a lot, and they want to do it, but it's actually banned by law. You cannot show the salute in Germany; it's not allowed, and that's how sensitive we are. So we forbid this kind of symbolism, as well as we cannot show the Hakenkreuz and stuff like this, and the swastika and stuff like this. It's not allowed. It's by law. It's banned. It's this symbol that's not allowed by law, and for a reason, because it had such an impact and it worked so well in the past that they want to take the power out of that by just banning it. But so I get, because he's attacked, he then leans into it, sometimes even leans into the memes a little bit. But in that case, I would say easy on this one, because some people are very sensitive about this, especially in Europe. But I get it. He's not living in Europe and anything. So in the end, he can do whatever he wants. But I would have handled it differently. But that's just my opinion. And I think it will die down if you see, again, the technology advancing. That's my main focus. I just wish that everything is about the technology, because that's the thing that gets me excited personally. And also that's something that helps humanity in the end, is the technology answers to problems. For example, Starlink with the internet. I mean, I have Starlink in my car for a good reason, because when I drive through the Black Forest, I don't have any coverage. Still, in Germany, we are like place 30 in the network here in Europe. Bulgaria is in front of us and stuff like that. So you have to imagine that.
Yeah. Well, two things, right? So he did voice that, it wasn't that, and it's ridiculous that people thought that. But of course, he does that on X, and that's an echo chamber. So of course, the greater world doesn't see it. Yeah, it would have been great for him to step out in the media he doesn't really like, and to go ahead and voice those things that he voiced on X, but that didn't happen. But also just the absurdity of being a part of some secret group and just publicly displaying it. It's like, maybe it's not what you think it is. If you're a member
Yeah,
of
that's
this
absolutely
secret-
ridiculous. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. So for me, it's just like focus on technology, focus on that stuff. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, there's so many tailwinds
getting-
coming, man, with
Yeah.
with all the vehicles and stuff like that. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, we know these things are emotion driven too. Like, there's a lot of people
Sure.
that are from one side that, these people, they know better. They know it's a better vehicle. They support the vehicle. They bought the vehicle, so they know it's a better vehicle. But until the stock goes back to certain levels, they're just gonna be crying still.
Yeah.
He cost me money. You know what? He probably cost himself a
He
lot
stole
more money
no,
than
he
you.
stole you money, Joe. He stole you directly.
Yeah,
No,
from my
of course not. Yeah, from your
What-
pocket.
One thing I'll say, I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's great. If you feel that you want to vote with your purchase, I think go for it. But one thing, I think Jeremy Judkins did a great job putting out a video on, if you want to sell your Tesla, what that would look like. And the truth is that most of the people, if you're financing it, you're going to be underwater. So you're going to have to pay whatever amount, you're going to sell it, and then you're going to have to pay the amount that you're underwater. And then, like I said, I watched a couple of TikToks, and this lady just bought a Rivian, and she actually was saying just more of how I think she bought the R1S, and just saying how it felt like more like a truck. Well, obviously it's built on a truck base, but she was just going over various things that the Tesla is just a lot better in, like obviously full self-driving, the software, but for her, it was like, well, I just can't associate with Elon. And again, like I said, I think you will, if you do vote that way with your purchasing your next vehicle as not a Tesla, you are going to get an inferior product, and people are okay with that. Then good for you. But all I can say is the Teslas will continue to get better. The product roadmap for this company is very exciting for the next year to 5 years, and what they're going to be accomplishing. Joe and I and our leadership have had personal time with the leaders, the engineers, and it's crazy. Like, I've never seen a company, the engineering power and innovation at one company. Right. And some of these companies, like I said, there's a lot of amazing companies in the Bay Area, but the way that these guys are working is still unlike and unmatched than any other company, I think, right now, outside of maybe some of other Elon's companies.
Well, you saw that with the launch of the new Model Y, like that switchover of that whole line across 4 factories across the globe. Like, it seems seamless. Like, they stopped selling them, and then like a week and a half later, they were selling them. You know what I mean? And that doesn't happen especially not with your most popular product.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Let's
Absolutely,
talk about that. How painful was the changeover? Why is it that only Tesla has such painful changeovers? It's because they don't have 3 months of inventory sitting around.
Right.
If Ford switches out their line with something radically different that takes time to switch, you would never notice, because the cars are just sitting on lots waiting for someone. Please, anyone, it's 4 days. Won't you come and buy this? We'll
4
throw in
days.
a mattress, or whatever it takes to get you to buy this damn thing before it expires on its own. So yeah, when you're running 16 days of inventory and it takes 16 days to change over, you're gonna notice a lag. So it's not that unusual. It's just more visible.
What amazes me about this whole thing, also with the switchovers and about the cars itself, is also, Brian, how long are we talking about this? I mean, we could be relatives at this point, like close friends that talk like years. I mean, for years, that Tesla did 3-part changes a day. I mean, they still perform like on the peak level here, and also comparing it to different car companies from Germany. Where is the competition coming? Is it coming anytime?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, they have some offers now of electric vehicles, but again, the software is BS in comparison.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't walk up to your car and it unlocks itself, and then you have a profile. If you buy a new car, it's set to the seating position. I mean, get this. We know this, but people don't know this. I talked to a friend of mine who just bought a Tesla, never even had an electric car before, hated those things. And then I told him, like, he was just amazed by the car. I'm like, have you checked out the software on your mobile? Oh no, I didn't even download the app so far. I'm like, okay. So and now he tested everything, and this is so crazy to see that. This is unmatched in that sense, and also with, I mean, that even the way the wind blows into your face when you sit in the car will be transferred to the other cars you get into. Robotaxi. So that's also something that's insanity. Like for this is magic for some people, I think, in the end when this will happen. I mean, it's just a really refined product, and that's why it doesn't have to have 50 miles more range than the, I don't know, the EQS. Maybe there are some electric cars that have a longer range, probably, and I know that some have, but generally I would say that it's about the whole product in the end, and how it feels, the software, the integration, and this is unmatched. And that's the deciding factor. If I would buy a car, I wouldn't buy another EV again or another car brand. Sad for the other ones, but it is what it is. Rivian is a close second, but still not a Tesla. Yeah.
Rivian is a second. I don't know how close I'd say. But
for me personally, from the design, from the aesthetic, the way they refined their product, that's what I mean. I like the startup mentality they have, but they have to sell and survive.
If it was illegal to buy a Tesla tomorrow, I could buy another EV and be happy. Just not really happy though, because Tesla is that far ahead. There are other EVs that are good daily drivers. They're good, but I wouldn't want to take one on a road trip. Not yet. In the US, the charging network is, you can use some Tesla chargers with your non-Tesla vehicle, but not all of them. And once you're outside the Tesla network, the charging price is almost double. And it's ridiculous because that's where they're trying to make profit instead of making it off cars. In terms of the software, the user interface, the over-the-air updates, nobody else is close. There are good cars out there. Those cars will at some point catch up, but like Jan, you were saying, where's the competition? I'm glad that Volkswagen announced they're going to make 9 more new models of EV. That should do the trick. Great. Stop telling me.
How about make one that's decent? How about that?
Yeah. Well, they're decent, I'm told. But if you look at people were when Volkswagen said the ID1, it's going to be 20,000 euros, and I criticized it, saying, "Stop telling me and just make the damn thing." People said, "Why are you so hard on Volkswagen?" Because it's been 5 years they've been promising this car. Maybe this time they'll actually release it? And as of the time I made the video, they hadn't even shown the prototype, so we're still looking at renders. Pardon me for not taking renders very seriously. They'll get there eventually. But Tesla is dragging the other EV makers into the future against their will, kicking and screaming. I don't know what else I would get if not a Tesla.
So I'll say this on the software front, because when we bought the new Model Y, my wife was super amazed when she got in and she didn't have to sign into anything. Like Spotify was playing the music that she was last listening to and like everything. And she was like, "This is crazy," the seat position, the course and everything. And I'm just like, I'm married to you for over 20 years. How did you not know these things? But just like, she was all surprised.
Yeah, this is such a technological marvel in that sense. And I like I've ADHD, and for me, having this kind of refined product is so soothing. Let's just say it's almost like my safety bubble. Whenever I go inside of this thing, I'm like, oh, okay, everything is cleaned up. It's not noisy. My music is playing. I'm comfortable, and that's it. And we don't get the love as you guys over there in the US, and I'm super sad that I live in this very slow system. But it amazes me still the functionalities that are spilled over from FSD actually that came over here as well. For example, that you when you arrange your car, go backwards and then to the front and just press the brake and turn the steering wheel, it automatically goes into drive, for example. This is a feature that was needed for FSD to park itself, for example, and also to drive backwards. And this trickled down to us Europeans. We got some breadcrumbs here as well, but those kinds of things. And it's a software update that I haven't even kind of noticed. I just like it just worked. Or adaptive high beams, guys. You have that's where you don't get love by your law, but now it's coming. But I had that for a long time, and it just works pretty good. On the Autobahn, it's a little bit tricky, especially at night. The semis always light up and say, "Hey, come on," because I blind them. That's there is some software stuff to do there too, but overall, it's just crazy that it evolves all the time. This is something that is so special about it. And I mean, the software updates are almost like bi-weekly or something like that sometimes, monthly at least. So I'm happy with that, that you get features just for free. That's what I meant. And the friend of mine also was saying like, oh, but this update, did it cost? Oh, cool. But the high beams, the adaptive ones, how much did it cost? I'm like, nothing. And he was like, what? Okay. Because he would have paid at Audi, for example, for this. So whatever. It's just crazy in that sense. And you cannot deny this. No matter who is in charge of what, the engineers are insanely good. And you also talk to them. I highly recommend watching the videos of those two guys here on their social medias and also on YouTube. But it's crazy how great the engineering team is there. And it's just it's nice to see that the German car companies also needed this wake-up call to actually do something. And now they're trying, but tough times, let's say that. It's just difficult for them to catch up. It's super hard for a legacy auto company to switch over because they can just invent everything from scratch, more or less, Tesla, and don't have this clunky, heavy, bulky thing of internal combustion engine technology dragging around all the time. And yeah, that's just the way it goes.
Jumping into the next topic, but yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I mean, the Teslas itself, that's what makes the product so amazing, and your Tesla gets better over time, right? And with that, the legacy Tesla is gone, kinda. They still have inventory. Obviously, they'll be spending time to get rid of that inventory. But you can no longer order it off the website, which is crazy. So you can probably find it on the view inventory. But it is officially gone, and you can only right now order a launch series. So really exciting, but the transition has happened.
and those the prices, like the lease prices, are crazy good.
Yeah. All right, next one to you, Joe.
Baidu and Tesla better together. So this is pretty cool. This was actually a Reuters article, and Herbert had talked about it. So Tesla working with Baidu to improve assisted driving system in China, sources say. Tesla to improve the performance of its advanced driving assistance ADAS system in China. Two people with knowledge of the matter said after a recent update drew customer criticism. So they are, I mean, as we know, the training was not like the best training. It was like from videos on YouTube and things like that. And so to partner with another Chinese group, it makes sense for Tesla in this, I don't know, kind of, it's not really, I guess it's kind of geofenced because they can only do what they can do there, and they can't like really do anything else. But even out the gate, I mean, you saw the videos, like people were just amazed, but clearly China has a different set of standards. Like they're not like us, like, oh man, I can't wait for the next version. They're like, hey, wait, why did it do this? Like, you know what I mean? So I guess a few people were not happy, but overall the sentiment has been really, really good in China about how it's working right out the gate. So that's pretty awesome.
I had a guest on last week, Road Guy Rob, who covers bridges and highways and all kinds of interesting topics, and he is a little bearish on FSD. He's one of those people who's of the mind that it's not going to happen terribly soon, and maybe widespread from other brands it won't. But you and I, the four of us, are seeing some things that make us believe it is closer than someone like him would say. In that, there was a lot of misunderstanding about what it can and can't do. He said, well, look, all roads are going to need to get better painted stripes because FSD doesn't work without paint. And I said, there's videos of it running in China for the first time ever on a windy road that it's never seen before, that is dirt and unmarked, and there's traffic coming the other direction, and it just gets over, just gets out of the way. It does things that can surprise you at times. And by the way, to all the people who can't stop hating on us, on our videos, on everything we do, I want to say thank you, because it drives the algorithm. When you watch the video so much and you hate it so much and you leave a thumbs down and then you post a lengthy comment and then you reply to other comments, oh my gosh, YouTube
and
shows
send it
that
to your
video
friends.
so many people. And you send it to your friends. Look at this. Look at this absolute insanity. So
interact with this video now because I'm so hateful.
It drives so much engagement, and I thank you. I thank you guys for that.
On that, so a year ago when I got my Cybertruck, and Joe probably even saw this in his comments, but it was like, it's ugly, it's a fridge. Now it's just replaced by swastikar, and I approve all of them, because literally the more swastikars I get, the more views I get. So keep that narrative going. Like, honestly, like I dropped a video yesterday about how I was selling my Cybertruck on TikTok, 130,000 views. I think on Instagram it's 100,000. So it's like, you know, again, and this is just, that's not even on YouTube. So that's just happening on, you know, some of these other channels. And so, yeah, I would agree with you that, you know, keep commenting. Don't ask why it's in your feed after you commented. It's going to continue to be there. Because the Cybertruck will continue to live in your mind rent-free.
It lives rent-free in my mind because we don't have it available in Germany, and I would have bought it years ago when it was announced. Even I still have my deposit on. It's a pretty good loan for Tesla, I would say. It's just $200, but hey, at least something. But yeah,
tell that to the Roadster people who put 50,000.
yeah. But this is just insane. Also, the partnership, I want to go back to that real quick with Baidu and stuff like this, or that they are improving FSD there. I think there's no way around this, that you have to partner with a company from China there in that sense, because it's how it works there. It's just how it is. And they are shielding their domestic market so much that if you are a partner of them, then I think you will have great benefits and access to the markets. And if you don't, then you don't. And interestingly enough, they could have just partnered with Audi, Audi partnering with Tesla, or maybe Mercedes could have gone from their high horse and just licensed it instead of tinkering around with their own system. I mean, they rely on LiDAR. They have their Drive Pilot, which is not great, let's say this. And they solved level 3, but it's never active. So, yeah, that's also a way to mitigate risks, is just not to allow it anytime. So that's not a real solution. And that's what people miss, because you can yap about politics all day long and about Elon and Trump and Zelensky and stuff like this. But in the end, FSD will be happening in the US first, and then people will go to the US and test it and think, wait a second, why are we living in the Middle Ages again in our country? What's happening? What is happening? Why? And I don't think that people are ready for the ripple effects. We've talked about this also very lengthy in many interviews as well. You guys know this too, about they are not solving, like they solve transportation. That's what they are doing. The semis can drive autonomously. What do you think will happen to goods even? Goods will be cheaper when you have like these things driving themselves, the semis. Not that I don't like truck drivers, but in the end, they need to be fleet operators. In the end, they have to manage 5 of those semis, and then that's how their job will shift. But these things are really impactful. This is a core technology that needs to happen, because also in Germany we have the train, and it's a good train system. But hey, it's always late. It's super expensive, and it doesn't work most of the times. I mean, it's great in cities, and there are some areas, but the north-south connection is pretty horrible. And I also see a huge gap there for FSD. I mean, you could just order a car and just drive on our great autobahns, just especially with 200 kilometers an hour, which is like 160 or something like that. You could potentially do it, but of course the FSD is capped at some point. But just saying, it's just a technology that's still missed, and I think even if it still has mistakes and stuff like this, I don't really care. Even if it could take 3 years longer, I don't care. I don't care. If that's solved, then it's game over for the whole vehicle industry. Kind of, it will be a huge change then, because then everybody will want to license it, and then Tesla will say, "Oh, you can't license it," or they will say, "You can," but now it's up in price, but significantly. And Mercedes, for example, could just have partnered with them a long time ago and sell cars in China with the great FSD software of Tesla, which is their core market. 50% of the sales of Mercedes are in China. So they need China very much. So, but they won't be interested if there is a better solution, because that's luxury too, to call your car and it just picks you up. How luxurious is that? I mean, maybe more than leather stitching in the end.
Yeah. When we were at the factory the other day, getting our Model Y, we saw the Model 3s just coming off the line, heading over to the the production stock, where they board at. And that's like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I drive the car every day, and I'm just sitting there as a passenger, but it's pretty awesome to see them just come off of the production line and just head over to boarding like nothing, like
autonomously, right? It's they just and this is so crazy, because now the online purchase of the Tesla makes sense, because imagine I use my iPhone just to I ordered Tesla today, that just drives to my front porch and just drive off, which would be, I mean, this is who can do this? This is just, this alone will drive up sales.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably, I remember one of the, I'll keep the person safe. They were mentioning that this was happening, right? And, I remember seeing those videos being posted like a month or two ago. And then I forgot about that. And also too, we were going to the Model Y, we were seeing people get deliveries. I did not think about the 3s going by. And it's like, just like the future happening, and we're just casually, go over to that fence. Nobody's in it. And so that was just crazy to think that the cameras are being calibrated on the production line. And all right, so next one,
real quick though, to all the people who are saying this is never going to happen, it's never going to come, guys, we're watching it. It's happening.
It's already happening. Yeah.
What's happening now?
It's crazy. When I was in the US, I gave in a address, and it just drove me there. For me, it was amazing. I've tested was with Robin from Robin TV and here in Germany, and also like an electric vehicle reviewer. And it still sticks with me now. I'm insanely furious when I just do lane keeping. I'm like, come on, why can't I just let it drive itself? The nag here is crazy, because our laws are different. It's like after 30 seconds already like, come on, guys, here's the steering wheel, please. And I just wanted to say that again. It's still amazing, mind-blowing, and I can't wait to go over to the US again and just drive, let myself drive all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember nag. Back in the day.
Oh, Jesus, don't say that, please. Stop.
All right, so back to usual business. Tesla impressed Sandy. So Sandy had the wonderful opportunity a nice follow-up to the Ride the Lightning interviews, along with the Jay Leno show. But Sandy Monroe met with both Lars and Franz. And they got into some crazy geek stuff, right? Advancements in the die casting machines and cooling systems have allowed Tesla to dramatically reduce cycle times and improve dimensional stability. And so some stats on the rear gigacasting for the new Model Y. So again, Tesla doesn't just copy and paste. They start a new production line. They're like, well, how do we make the gigacasting even better? So what do? They made it 7 kilograms lighter, or 11% lighter, which is crazy. This is what's crazy. 50% less machining. And cycle times are 70 seconds versus 170. Like, I mean, when you think of the rear folding seats going from the standard of like 7 seconds to 4.5 seconds, I mean, this is engineering at its finest. They are squeaking every bolt to make it more efficient. And that's what you're investing in. Elon is one person, but Tesla is more than that. They are many people, and that is what you are investing in. That's what gets me excited about their products every day is stuff like this. All right. So I think this one I know is for some may feel controversial, but Musk obviously needs to focus more on Tesla, as Joe would say. But with that, actually, I'll pass this slide to Joe. I should have passed it from the beginning.
Yeah, so I labeled this as Musk is asked to focus more on Tesla, and I thought this was funny because he's out here actually selling cars himself. He becomes a car salesman. It's like, how much more focused can he be on Tesla? This was like the biggest show of support, you know what I mean, for the brand. And I mean, like you say, it's the people, right? I mean, he employs over 100,000 people, so we know it's not just all him, but of course, like, how can they affect him? And that's by affecting his brand. But yeah, but he's more than that, and we know that because we talk with the people. We see the people on a daily, some of us who go to the showrooms and things like this. So I thought this was like a really, really good of him to do. I mean, we saw it with the previous president, like how much he supported like Stellantis. It isn't even an American car company, and like all, you know what I mean? Like there was just a lot with the UAW and all that, but I thought this was pretty cool that he's out here selling cars and people's like, he needs to focus.
But Joe, I mean, Mary led,
Tesla.
and it matters, you know. So that's yeah. So she single-handedly changed the EV industry or the car industry. She really did.
She needs to be on a Mount Rushmore. Of,
absolutely, yeah, sure. Isn't she already? Okay, I have missed that it's not done, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, she could afford to put herself on a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. But have you seen the video of the car sales commercial of those guys together? It was pretty funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, it's good that something like this happens also for the more conservative people or Republican voters, that they see this. I mean, most of them are in favor of Musk, I think, anyway. But generally, also, I mean, we went from coal rolling to this now. It's interesting to see just how sentiments change. That suddenly the Tesla becomes the new way of protesting against the establishment. Is just like, maybe they can electric roll. Is that a thing? Could it be done? No, but yeah, maybe burnouts because it accelerates so quick. But yeah,
just put a bubble machine in the back.
Yeah, that's a cool idea and very masculine, I would say. Yeah, let's do that.
Man, I feel like what is it? We're just having a ball in time out here. All right, so
we got through 6 of our slides.
Yeah, there's some people that just won't stop talking, you know, because
everybody's just here for the slides. So
exactly.
They're only here for the slides, you guys.
You know, in every presentation, everybody's just there for the slides. Exactly.
It's the best part.
Yeah, it's the best part.
They're like, these guys are talking, and we need to see the next slide.
Pretty much. That's why, as Joe was talking, I put the next slide. No, I'm sure. All right. So there's a couple of things going on. One, did you guys know that the Model 3 is the #1 selling electric sedan in America? I didn't.
No,
I mean, it's
nobody wants these cars.
Yeah, exactly. So
maybe you didn't see the previous slides.
I'm going to give you 4 reasons why you need to go buy a Model 3. 1, made. Number 2, in. Number 3, America. And number 4, it is $1,000 down at $299 a month. Or there are other potential financing options too, where it's 0% down and 0% APR, or $4,000 down and $373. So again, these car payments, depending on what you're doing, you should do the math and go check them out. All right, so let's just jump into the upbeat, and we have a couple more. So let's get into it. All right, so Jan, I'm going to pass this one to you. Tesla's better overall, better for all. It's like, I have to think what that said. But the least expensive car brand over 10 years maintenance. Thoughts?
Yeah, I have it for, I think now it's passing 1 year, I think, mine. Yeah. Or it passed 1 year, 1.5 years. I want that. I have a Model 3, and maintenance was wiper fluid and yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. To
exactly.
be fair, I had to change the wheels, but that's not because of the car, but because of the insanity I do with the car. So, I have a recommendation for everybody who's seeking out for Model 3. I made a huge mistake, and I bought the standard range, and I should have bought the performance, because the center of gravity with the Model 3 is way lower than the Model Y, and it feels different. I've tested both cars again, and I would say, and not the new one. I have not tested the new Model Y, but
Dang.
and I would say in Florida, and I switched over from a gas car to a Model 3 Highland directly, which was an insane upgrade, and then I've also tested it, and I was like, okay, now I get why people want the performance variant. And for me, it's a no-brainer. We have the Autobahn still, and we can drive openly here. And I'm furious that it's capped at 200 kilometers per hour. I don't know where it's capped in miles. I think it's 160, 170, something like that. Could that be?
Not that high.
The standard range?
50-ish would be my guess.
Yeah, okay.
155.
Yeah, 155, and yeah, I'm furious that why doesn't it go faster at the Autobahn? Yes.
That's so racist, Jan. Don't make fun of our German friends. No, it's I actually am in the opposite boat. I've got the all-wheel drive long range, and it's more than enough. I never got acceleration boost, and I realize now I'm not going to. Doesn't add anything to my resale. All it would do is make my tires more expensive, and I'm at 29,000 miles over 15 months, 17 months, something like that. Haven't even had to replace the tires yet. 2 gallons of washer fluid. This maintenance is eating me alive. It isn't. And if you think about it, in the US, if you're going to do a big old road trip, you probably need to get your oil changed before it and after it. I've never done an oil change, and forget those $40, $50 that I'm saving each time. It's the time itself. It takes an hour or two depending when you go, and those guys are open during business hours. Are you really going to give up your entire lunch break plus to get your oil changed every matter of months? Really? That's ridiculous. Maybe you guys have that kind of luxurious time just sitting around unused, and you want to go do something fun with it, like hang out at Jiffy Lube. But no. And by the way, Jiffy Lube, I don't think they're in trouble. You know why? I've spent money at Jiffy Lube. I got a rock chip repaired. They do that now.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, and they'll do your wiper blades. They're like, I don't care what kind of car you got, just bring it in. We got stuff for you. I haven't had to replace my wiper blades yet, but that's coming up. So, guys, pray for me.
Yeah, let me know if you need to start a GoFundMe for that one. We got you.
The struggle. All
right. This one, Brian, I'm going to pass to you. You'll close us down with this last thought, but the Cybertruck is 10 times stronger than listed. I assume you
Yes.
saw this. What do you think?
Well, it's fun, right? It's fun to test things in different non-traditional ways. If you're trying certain tests, you're going to find that the Cybertruck is much, much stronger. And if you're trying different tests, other ones, you're going to find it's vastly too weak. Justin, the bearded Tesla guy, friend of all of us here, responded to this saying, look, if you're going to use the truck the way trucks are used, it's perfectly good. It's better than average in a whole bunch of ways. If you're going to do just weird stress tests, yeah, you'll find ways where it doesn't keep up. Because, but, you know, he said that when everyone may remember, when Justin was borrowing a Cybertruck, he got a call saying, Salt Lake City, we got a truck for you. Someone couldn't get their financing. Come pick it up right now. So he drove there a couple hours away and then towed a Cybertruck from Salt Lake to Florida with a Cybertruck. And he goes, I went over potholes. I went over road heaves. I went over all kinds of things. And guess what? Neither truck broke. It's fine. So if you want to get your panties in a twist, that's only you can control that. And there's no reason to actually be upset.
Well, the other fun fact is that nobody in Cybertruck history has broken a tow hitch towing anything.
Mm.
Like,
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it hasn't happened. Like, never. Like,
And then they held down the front too, so it can't even like balance up like this. They had like put some forklift. I mean, like, yeah,
That's a standard scenario. Come on. That's so
Yeah,
standard.
exactly.
I mean, every buyer of a Cybertruck will do these kinds of stress tests all day, every day. And they want to do a very long trip with an insane amount of payload for an insane amount of time and length. That's also what they're going to do. So long, insanely long road trips hauling immense tons of weight.
You realize 50% of this panel has shot a Cybertruck.
facts.
But the wrong ones, I should have shot the Cybertruck at least once.
You
You
just
know
came
we
the
don't
wrong
have guns over here.
Yeah,
we should have called you.
the tongue weight is rated at 1,000 pounds, and it took over 10,000 pounds for it to freaking snap. That's pretty incredible. So yeah, I mean,
100%.
imagine trying to prove your point and you prove the opposite point.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Episode 90 is over. This was a fun one. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world, going on with Tesla and Elon. I mean, it's just, I feel like 2025 is just the year of entertainment. It feels like it has not been a dull moment. I know, I know it's just a lot's going on in the world. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving us your time. Please go and subscribe to FutureAza. Brian, he's got an amazing channel, puts out several updates a day, if not 7 days a week, pretty much, right? You're going. So, great channel to stay updated, especially if you want to go deep, but also stay high at the same time. He breaks it down really well. And then we have Jan TeslaFix. Give him a follow, subscribe to his channel. He's in the YouTube description as well, both his channel and his X account. If you
Fun
want,
fact, he's never fixed the Tesla.
Yeah, that's I should have. I'm gonna do it if your maintenance demands it, but that's probably never will happen. So sadly, I won't fix a Tesla in my life. And I'm hopeful that I can upload some videos. I'm very stressed at work right now, but I will be back on track soon. But yeah, let's see. But check it out. We can watch old videos of mine at least.
What does fix mean in English? Tesla
Don't
fix?
go there. Okay, good. That was a great episode. Thank you very much.
All right. So one last thing I wanted to highlight. Actually, Elon shared a couple of our videos today. If you want to see an epic light show, along with just hang out with the Tesla community, I think with so much going on, I think there's no better way to support the community than be the community and come out. We would love to see you in July 26th. It's going to be an epic like show. We'll have random drawings for the factory tours. And then from 10 to 6 on the 26th of July, we will have a full day full of Great speakers, great vendors. Lars Morovy is our keynote speaker. He's the SVP of Vehicle Engineering. And then Steve Jurvenson is one of Elon's good friends, known him for 28 years, invested in all his companies, and has been around since investing in things like Hotmail and Skype. So xtakeover.com. We would love to see you there. If not, we will catch you on the next episode. Have a great week, everyone, and make sure to like and subscribe all of these guys' channels, and obviously this one, so more people will see it.